are being built, decarbonization scenarios, all those कि रोड मैप बना सकते हैं कि अगर इतने परसेंट ऑफ पेट्रोल व्हीकल्स को ईवीज में कन्वर्ट कर देंगे तो इतना एमिशंस कम हो जाएगा, ऑल दोस थिंग्स.
Got it, got it, got it. And what are you working as? You're working as a?
एज अ सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपर, फाउंडिंग मेंबर.
Yeah, baat hai, sir. Good to see you grow. And now starting to work. I think you're fresh out of college when you started with the Builders Club, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Long time, long time. Hey, Raghavendra, what's up? Hey, Amitoj. Hey, Naima. So let me just welcome all the new people. So LinkedIn has an issue. LinkedIn audio lives. You'll have to raise your hands and only then can I pull you guys on stage. Naima, you tried the last time around when your mic was not working. Hopefully today your mic is working. Please raise your hands. Amitos, Naima will pull you guys on stage. Would love to know what you guys are doing. Raghavendra, hi, what's up? Acha, Raghavendra has dropped off. Koi baat nahi. Hey, Sesha, how are things? What's going on?
Everything well. Just like working with startups and figuring out the next big problem. Yeah, that's the bigger.
You're still in Bangalore or you're in Goa? Where are you? Hello? Okay. Naima, hi, hi. Good evening. How's it going?
Hello.
Hi. Oh, today your
Hello.
mic is working. Sisha will come back to you. How are
Yeah,
things, yeah,
last
Naima?
time I tried talking and it wasn't working.
Yeah, yeah, that's fine. Today, at least your mic is working. How are things?
Yeah, so I'm in Chennai right now. Things are like kind of okay because since it started raining here from 3 4 days, if not, it is like hella heat, very hot, very humid, like that. And yeah,
Got
where
it.
are you based out of, Sohail?
I am based out of Delhi. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Naima, why don't you introduce yourself? What do you
Yeah,
do
yeah.
and everything?
Yes, yes. So I work as a tech journalist for a publication called Broadworks, where we basically publish stories by interviewing founders, tech leaders, product leaders. We interview them. We ask like how they build the product, and we publish stories. We also have a community of product people.
Got it.
Where, so this publication and the community together helps the product people to gain insights into how other startups are building the product. So basically, interviewing the founders, that is like the main job of mine.
Got it. Got it. Got it. So you basically interview people and then write stories about them.
Yes, yes,
Startup founders primarily.
yes. Startup founders.
Got
Like if there are like if the company is like big, so we also interview like vice, AVP of product. Uh, like basically the whole community and publication is focused more on products. So the product people mainly.
Got it, got it, got it, got it. Hey Saurabh, how's it going? Saurabh, there's a small issue with LinkedIn Lives. You'll have to raise your hands and only then I can pull you guys on stage. So why don't you raise your hands here? We'll would love to know what you're building. Hi,
Hey,
hi Saurabh.
thanks for
Hey,
having
what's
me.
up?
All good, all good. How are you?
I'm doing very well here. I'm doing very well. Great to have you here. Saurabh, why don't you tell everyone what you're building?
Hey guys, I'm the founder of Angel Bay. Angel Bay is a private network of investors. So we have got about 200 investors spread across about 13 countries. And we are investing into early stage startups. So Angel Bay, like my company, is a startup which is investing into multiple other startups.
Yeah. Great to have you, Saurabh. Hopefully, you'll enjoy today's discussion.
Definitely.
I'll just post in one more place and I think we'll start. So, first of all, thanks a lot, guys, for joining in. This is the third edition of our weekly live that we do. in the Builders Club, where we basically go through what has happened this week, both in the club and in the startup ecosystem as well. And we basically get the builders in the club and around to join in and talk about, basically share their opinions as well on that. There are four different sections of this event or this show, as you may want to call it. Basically, we start off with a little bit about what's happening in the club. Then we have a section called a weekly book recommendation, where the Builders Club basically recommends a book. This is a book of the week, and we talk a little bit about what books you guys are reading, any books that you would want to refer to other people. Then we move on to the startup news. We have a bunch of news, including the funding news, what all companies got funded, and which cities are the ones through which they got funded from, and then a little bit about the specific news stories which are there. Today we have a good ensemble of news stories. We basically are also we are one of our main stories is about founders being asked to quit. Inc. 42 has done a small article around the different founders who have been either left their chairs or have been asked to quit, and the numbers are increasing by the day. BCCI sued Byju's, and Alipay is also, sold its stake in Zomato. And there's a bunch of other news as well. Um, for all of you guys who are uninitiated and the ones who have just joined in, and for those who don't know about the Builders Club, we are one of the largest startup founder communities globally. We basically have now we also have city chapters. We have seven city chapters. Our Dubai chapter is opening fairly soon, and we basically help any builder at any stage of the journey to basically progress faster and progress further in their journey. We have a fundraising track. We also have a launch pad track through which you can amplify your launch communication through the club. With that, and guys, I mean, in case you people, there are people who have joined in for the second and the third time as well. So, in case you people want to invite people, you can do so as well from the link which you will get from the invite section. We also have a giveaway at the end of the event, so in case you people stick around, you'll possibly be able to win the book, which is going to be the startup, the book of the week. So let's just begin today's session, and also we are streaming live on YouTube as well. So in case you people are traveling, or you people that can't participate, you people can listen in on YouTube as well. So let's just kick it off. Today we have some very interesting stuff we have to discuss. But first, let's talk about the things which happened within the club. There's some amazing news and amazing stuff which has been happening within the club. One is the fact that we became the ecosystem partners for the Super Angels Summit, which is happening in Abu Dhabi. This is the world's first and largest angel investor summit. But in effect, it's one of the largest investor gathering which is happening globally. There are people coming in from 20 countries. There are 80 plus speakers. There are 300 plus CXOs and government representatives who are coming in, and we are uh, apart from just being the ecosystem partner, we're also taking a delegation from the Builders Club to Abu Dhabi for this event. So, in case you're an investor, your tickets are free, as in not your tickets, the event tickets are free. The travel and acco, I think you people will still have to have to put in, but the event access is completely free. And for the startups, this is mostly an investor first event, but there are certain curated startups which are being allowed. In case you people want to join in, then you people should register. The link link, the application form is there in the LinkedIn on our LinkedIn page. There's a Google form. It's a five item line item form. Just fill it up. Our team will get in touch with you, and we'll explain you how things go. So yeah, that's something which is fairly impactful for the people, for the builders which are building within the community. We also had our second podcast live, as in our podcast release, the video podcast release series has technically been restarted on YouTube. We have been posting regularly on the Spotify and audio podcast set, but our video production is a little bit slow, so we apologize for that. But we basically interviewed, or the latest podcast release is of Shatto Raha, who's the co-founder of My Healthcare. It's a fairly much it's at a fairly mature stage now. I think they've raised their Series B as well. They are basically building the healthcare OS for Bharat. So basically a CRM slash OS or operating system for hospitals to work on. Very interesting discussion. I didn't know that the medical ecosystem is full of so much opportunities. One of the very key insights or key data points which I gathered from this podcast was the fact that 80% of the hospital market is fragmented. The bigger names that we usually hear of, the Apollos and the Fortises and all the others, they make up just 20% of the overall market. And this gives a huge opportunity in the health ecosystem. And I think the passion with which he spoke about is something which you should check out on our LinkedIn, on our YouTube page. It's www.youtube.com/@ the builders club. So it's there, so you should check that bit out. So these are the two main activities apart from the usual stuff which happens. We also want to take 1 minute to talk about the TBC merch that is there on tbc.blinkstore.in. In case you're on YouTube, you can see my shirt which I'm wearing. We have some really zazzy designs. There are 5 designs that we have, limited edition stuff. The winter is also coming in. You can buy hoodies as well. There is one of the most popular ones is this one which I'm wearing. It's called Mujhe Funds Do. In For the ones who are listening in, it's basically Arnab Goswami meme for founders. Mujhe Funds Do. So that's a little bit about the club and about what we have been up to. Happy to, in case you people have any queries, you can unmute. In case Akash, hi, after a very long time you're joining in. LinkedIn Live has an issue. You'll have to raise your hands, and only then will I be able to pull you in. So please raise your hands. Hi, hi. Akash, it's been a while. I think we connected. Why don't you, uh, yeah, just come on in.
Yeah,
Yes.
hey, hi.
Hey,
Yeah,
hey,
long
how's
time.
it going? Been a very long
Yeah,
time, yeah.
doing good. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. How are things? What's up?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So for the last basically 1.5 years, I was just trying to like work in a startup. So yeah,
Okay.
was just building it. So when I joined it, it was a series A startup. Now we have raised Series B with a valuation of basically 300 million. And yeah, I had the machine learning for the startup. So yeah, was slightly busy. Yeah.
क्या बात है यार? What's the name of the company?
Yeah, the startup name is Credgenics. It's also in the
Cryogenics.
fintech domain.
Got
Yeah.
it. Got it. Got it. Got it. No, yeah. So for all of you guys who don't know, Akash has been a very early evangelist and a part of the club. When he used to be on Discord, and these shows which we are having now on LinkedIn Live used to happen on Discord audio. And I think Akash was at that point of time working in Mastercard, if I remember
Yeah, right.
correctly. Yeah,
Right.
and he had some amazing insights. It's good that you've joined, yeah. So we have now kind of condensed the whole format. Not earlier we used to have 3 hour shows, right? Now we do just 1 hour
Right.
ones. So hopefully your time will be worth it. We'll just quickly move on. And guys, feel free. The good part about being on LinkedIn Live is in case if people want to connect to anyone, just you can just connect to them on LinkedIn. I'll move on to the book of the week. Right. So this is something which has now become a crowd favorite. Everybody wants to know which book is the one, because we do a giveaway at the end of every TBC live, where we do two book giveaways of the book, which is the book of the week. So is uh, today's book of the week is a book called Traction, right? So it's basically a book written by Gabriel Weinberg and Justin Mares. And Traction is basically, the tagline is how any startup can achieve explosive customer growth. How many of you have read this book, Traction? Uh, Either, I mean, anybody of you who has read it, you can just unmute and say yes. Okay, so I'll give you a little bit of a brief about the book, and then probably we'll go a little bit deeper and understand what this book is talking about. So Traction is one of the best books if you're looking to have clear go-to-market strategies in your startup. Traction basically lists 21 different channels that you can use to spread information about your product and business. And from what my experience has been, it's technically a very comprehensive list, right? So it goes right from viral marketing, PR, content marketing, SEO, social media, email, paid advertising, partnerships, community building, influencer marketing, event marketing. So technically they have 21 different channels listed. And it's not just the fact that they have listed out these channels. There is a very interesting framework. So the whole core of this book is the framework called the bullseye framework, right? So basically what it talks about prioritizing the channels that you have listed. Once you have figured out which channels you want to focus on, you list down those channels, and you basically focus on only the top three, right? So the bullseye framework in the book categorizes the channels into three different rings. The inner ring, which is called the bullseye, represents the channels that seem most promising. The goal is to focus on these channels initially and test them out rigorously. The middle ring, which is secondaries, are the channels which are considered the next in line, the number twos. So if the inner ring channels don't work, these are the alternatives that you should explore. And the outer ring, which is the long shots, are the riskier, less conventional channels, and they are explored if the inner and middle ring channels don't yield the desired results. Usually, what the book documents about is, if you are able to figure out the bullseye framework in the right manner, you basically go one channel at a time, and that is how you are able to focus all your resources, all your efforts, all your energies into one specific channel. Like for example, for the builders club, once we focused on referrals, we went very heavy on them. Once in our initial days of our go to market, the other Slack channel, WhatsApp groups, and all of these used to be a lot of a very focused this thing for us. And we basically started putting out specific bitly links and tracking which of these Slack channels are working for us, what communication is working for which channel, because some communities have a different TG. And that is how we basically then, and once we kind of saturated a channel and we realized कि हाँ इससे ज़्यादा और नहीं निकल सकता, then we started working or figuring out other channels for that. So this is a book for all of those who are basically building startups or building or basically trying to get their go to market right. I will take a pause here and would love to hear from the people in the audience, for the people who have joined in, and Piyush, you can also come back again, on what books you people are reading, or any book that you would want to recommend the people from your side as well. This is our recommendation of the week, but any books that you people would want to recommend, any of you can basically start, because all of you guys can mute yourself.
I think the like best book what I have read is The Startup of You. It is
Startup of
by
you.
yeah, it is written by Reed Hoffman, who was the
Yeah.
founder of basically LinkedIn, right? So I mean, it's an awesome book. So Startup of You, right? It actually helps me take the right decision at a certain point, right? So it basically tells that that we are the CEO of our life, right? And what what we should do, right? So like if let's suppose there's an option, right, where the money is basically slightly low but the experience is very good, then we should basically choose that path. So these kind of these kind of experiences are there in that book, and it also tells that you should have friends and you should talk to them, because I mean it helps in the future and all, right? So basically, so yeah, that books is quite, yeah, very well written if you want to read.
Startup of you. I'll add this in my reading list then.
Yeah, it's
Thanks a
very,
lot
very
for
good.
that, Akash.
I've read
Piyush?
it. It's a very, very good one.
Ah, interesting.
Yes.
Reed
I
Hoffman
yeah,
seldom disappoints, nahi?
Right,
yeah,
right.
right, right. Absolutely.
Bata, what are your takeaways from the book? Anything you want to talk about, Piyush, about the book?
The main thing is that the startups में जो the way we deal with uncertainties
Yeah.
in this changing world, that is very well discussed in the book. जो the things, the variables that we feel are important, we should focus on those. वो सारी चीजें है उस book में. Like
Mm,
measuring the variables, which variables are relevant for you, and having a good network, all those things.
got it.
Absolute one. Absolute best.
Got it. The startup of you. Interesting. Naima, Saurabh, Sesha, any books that you would want to recommend? कोई बात नहीं. Next time around also will work in case you don't have anything in
Okay,
your mind.
so not a book, but some insight. So
Okay.
recently, I came across an article by on a blog called "The Melting Asphalt." So
Okay.
the blog headline is "Going Critical."
Okay.
Now, just before pandemic, these guys studied different types of startups and the way they did grow their SaaS products, right? And they figured out that they all of them who went viral, it happened on a pandemic model. So they have
Mm,
created a sort of a tool in that particular blog which can be used to figure out which specific type of virality module can we adapt, learn and implement from different type of diseases into the startup ecosystem, or to typically grow the products. And the second one is a book that was gifted to me by a very dear entrepreneur friend. So the book is called The Ambuja Story. Man,
mm.
should definitely give a read. Not just bottlenecks, but the way you have to build a dhanda is completely justified there. And I would like it would really change people's perspective on how funding, market, business actually works, to a scale where Ambuja did scale itself.
The Ambuja story.
The Ambuja story.
So this is Ambuja Cements, right?
Yes, yes, yes. Like you would see
Uh,
how massively they became the largest company, cement company in this country, and that story is very inspiring. Like it's not like you start such kind of work with 5 laptops and 5 engineers. You need an army of people, and imagine what
yeah,
type of
yeah, yeah,
investment.
yeah.
Everything is needed, and these guys bootstrapped it from scratch. So like definitely very very inspiring story, and that's it will start making your heart pound looking at how these guys solved the problems and what type of problems came in their journey. And of course I would also as I previously suggested, everyone should read Going Critical by Melting Asphalt.
I'm writing these down.
Yep. I'll share the links as well. Oh,
Interesting.
yeah.
Thank you. Thanks a lot for that, Sesha.
Yep.
Hey, Naima.
Yeah, so I didn't read this book completely, but it was recommended by my CEO. The book called Build What Matters. So I
Build what
read the first
matters.
chapter of it.
Yes.
And the first chapter itself was like, it was so insightful. It was about the dysfunctions that happen in the startups, basically, like while building product. What are the things that usually people assume and do instead of actually what they should be talking to users and doing? That first chapter was so amazing. I didn't read the whole book, but I just wanted to say about that book since it was the first chapter itself was so nice. So I think the whole book will be
Interesting.
amazing.
Interesting. Thanks a lot, Nima. Hey, Harsh, what's up? Harsh, LinkedIn Live has an issue. You'll have to raise your hands, and only then can I pull you on stage. So please raise your hand. I'll pull you on stage. In the meantime, Naima, thanks a lot for the recommendation. I was thinking about Measure What Matters, the John Doerr book. But I think Build What Matters is something which I'll also read. Measure What Matters is something which is in our upcoming book recommendations. That's a book that I really want to talk about. But soon enough. Hey, Harsh, how's it going? Hello, what's up?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. How are things?
Things are going great. Taking some time to adjust to the new platform.
Yeah, LinkedIn Live is again like one of our Discord days where people are still getting acquainted. A lot of people have never really done it. This is probably the first time a lot of them are joining in as well. But Harsh,
Yeah,
why
yeah.
don't you introduce yourself to the people who are around and what you have
Sure,
been up
sure,
to? Uh,
sure, absolutely. So, I have I've been a former founder, worked with our ventures as a VC, helping startups raise funds. Currently, I'm working with the World Trade Center Pune, and essentially, World Trade Center, as you must be knowing, it's a World Trade Center network across the world, right? 130 countries. So we are helping startups using the WTC network and helping them expand internationally. So if an Indian startup wants to expand globally, we are helping them with that. If international startups want to come to India, we are helping them with that as well. So that's like a short summary of what we are doing.
yeah, and I think WTC and TBC are also going to work together soon.
Definitely.
They basically WTC as an organization. I didn't know this by the way, and I'll just in case people who don't know, I also got to know about how big the WTC network is fairly recently. And anybody who's trying to either expand abroad or there are foreign companies who are looking to come to India, I think WT is an awesome network to be a part of. So you also have a membership program, right, Harsh?
That's right. So what we are doing it is we are doing it in a fixed monthly membership format, and that's how we kind of get startups into our ecosystem, and through that whether they want to expand internationally or domestically, like open doors with all the top corporates, top governments. We are facilitating that, and we are doing it under the hub of World Trade Hub because just under World Trade Center it becomes a little difficult, but we've created a separate entity called as World Trade Hub, and we are doing it through that. So that makes it significantly easier.
Got it. Got it. Just hold on. Okay. Cool. Thanks a lot, Harsh, for that. Any book recommendations from your side? We were just discussing books.
Currently, there is a book which I'm reading called Tasks Done by Brad Collin. The idea is,
Ah,
to kind of get things executed very quickly. A lot of the times we see that the startups they tend to get, tend to get caught in analysis paralysis. They want to
yeah.
make it perfect before they take it into the market, right? So the idea is, just get moving quickly, get the first iteration done, get the first feedback done, and get things and do not scale before reaching PMF. Because if you try to scale before reaching PMF, you're just burning your foot over there. So it's
Mm.
focused more on getting things done quickly and getting a systematized process in place so that you're constantly iterating, you're constantly measuring and tracking each and every experiment which goes through. At an early stage, that's extremely vital to do that.
Yes, yes. Hey Chandrakant, how's it going? In case you want to come on stage, you can raise your hand and I'll pull you in. LinkedIn Live does not allow without you raising hands. So Chandrakant, I think you haven't introduced yourself to the club. In case you want to, please come up. I know, I think this is also the time when you're usually not in the speaking mode, so that's fine. You can stay. So Chandrakant has also been a very, very, very old evangelist and a part of the club for almost 3 years, almost similar to what Akash has been. Um, but yeah, moving on. I think so this week's book traction is something which you can get as a so we are giving away two copies of traction at the end of this event in case you people want to stick around to win the award. I mean, it'll be really great if all of you participate. But yes, we'll tell you how to get your hands on this book from the Builders Club site at the end of the event. Moving on. So this section is basically the startup news. This is our this is the section where the majority of the discussion happens, and we basically discuss what's happening in the startup ecosystem. Starting off with the funding news, right? So from 20th to 25th November, I think the data which we are also being able to get, we're doing it with our partners and Tracker. They basically give me a 1 week delayed data, so I'm really sorry about that. But between 20th to 25th November, there were 22 deals which were made, and a total funding of $113 million was done, of which three of these deals were growth and late stages. So Clove Dental, which is a clinical chain of dental, this thing is has raised a series E of $50 million. Then Purple Style Labs, which is in luxury fashion, has raised $8 million. uh, Zapfresh, which is in meat delivery, has raised $4.3 million. Coming to the early traction one, so there is Scapia, which is in the fintech ecosystem. They raised $23 million. Um, then there was Kiwi, and basically the rest of the money is basically divided amongst the different ones. There are a few notable ones which have raised. So Kiwi, which is in the virtual credit card business, they basically raised money. There is a very interesting startup called Baz Bikes, which is EVs for gig workers. They have raised money. Herbie Angel, Ayurvedic personal care, Wama, which is in spiritual tech, and Soham Snacks. All of these startups basically have raised funds yeah, this week. Coming to the different cities in which the deals have happened. So again, Delhi NCR and Bangalore have raised 7 deals each. Every week we see either Bangalore leading or Delhi NCR leading in the number of deals which have been made. But this month around, Bangalore and Delhi, both of them basically have made 7 deals each. The second number goes to Bombay, rather Mumbai, which is number three with 3 deals. Then there is Pune, Goa, Kochi, Hyderabad, and Kanpur, each with 1 deal each. There might be a few that I might have missed out on, and I'm happy for in case anybody of you, I think Saurabh would have a much more updated line of information pipeline on the different startups that have raised funds. But this is the list from our side. Moving on to the top news of the week. Um, so I think let me just see if I can pull this up. Right. So Inc. 42 has done a small article around the different founders that basically quit their post in 2023. Right. So very interestingly, this week, DealShares CEOs Vineet Rao and Shankar Bora had been asked to step down. But very interestingly, there have been multiple founder exits which have been happening all throughout 2023, and the speed is slowly picking up. Right. So, like for example, in ShareChat, Fareed Ehsan and Bhanu Pratap Singh left. So I'll just list out the companies first. So there is ShareChat, Zest Money, DealShare, Go Mechanic, Teachment, Zomato, Card 91, Ufus Learning, Tribo, Freshworks, Zolo, Polygon, Dunzo, Chingari. Now, I'm not talking about CXO level exits, I'm talking about founder exits. Now, this kind of makes things fairly interesting. Of course, I think some cases like Go Mechanic and Zest Money, I think the founders left, leaving the companies in a very tough spot. But in the others, there have been instances where the directors, where the board has been asking founders to go to leave as well. I I mean, again, I'm not an industry insider, but I'm sure that each one of you have are in fact, sort of, if you can actually opine on this, and then I have also have a certain perspective around this. But why is this trend happening? Any thoughts or any perspectives on this?
Yeah, so, so well, there are multiple reasons why founders are leaving. Now, depending upon the situations or the companies, right?
Yeah.
So, couple of places what we have seen is that the dominant founder stays in the business, while the secondary or the tertiary founder tends to leave after a while because either they don't feel that it's like now going in the direction they want it to take, so they're not in sync with the incoming investors slash, let's say, the dominant founder. In some cases, because these companies have been running for about 8, 10 odd years, right? So certain founders start getting tired running the same business, and they feel they can either run a separate business with their own money thesis and things like that, or they want to probably, let's say, now in case they have already made money, they want to get into the investment side of the business.
Hmm.
There are a couple of cases where terminations are happening because of potential, let's say, non-performance issues or ethical issues. So
Hmm.
that's again, these are like 4, 5 reasons why we are seeing exits happening for the founders.
Hmm. I think corporate governance has suddenly come into picture in the last 1.5 years, the way I look at it. And I mean, I think including early stage and late stage, I think a lot of companies have. Uh, I mean, I think the tightening of the news also needs to be there a little bit, the way I look at it. I think a lot of monitoring mishaps had also happened. But nonetheless, I think, of course, I think every exit has its own story, and we can't really bucketize them or kind of create look at it as a trend, the way I look at it. But having said that, I think there is a lot of restructuring and reorganizing of the top board, which is happening across all startup ecosystems as this whole VC ecosystem goes a little bit deeper into 2024. What is your take on that, Saurabh?
So something again on the ethical issues or, let's say, the corporate governance. I think just because, let's say, media is slightly more focusing on the startups, it's coming to limelight, right? But otherwise, once you look at listed companies, even on NSC, right, you had issues with guys like DFHL, Yes Bank. Once you look abroad, right, there are
Hmm.
multiple such companies slash, let's say, startups which are coming into limelights. And even when we look at large banks in the US, right? So we had subprime crisis, right? So
Hmm.
a lot of these things are already part of the system. It's just that currently the focus is on startups, and we probably focus on startups. So a lot of these news items are
Hmm.
probably coming to limelight, and we feel that the startups have got a lot of governance issues. They are there, but they are there even in the listed companies. So I don't know how the oversight could be more tightened. Like obviously there is room for improvement,
Hmm.
but it's not just prevalent in the startup ecosystem.
Thanks a lot, Saurabh, for that. That was a fairly detailed one. And I hope that this is something which I think any which ways the ones which the video which we are making on YouTube will probably use this bite as well somewhere. Thanks a lot for that information. Moving on to the next
Just
news. Yeah,
so,
sorry. Thanks a lot, Sarah.
no, no, just on that front, because you talked about books, I'm not reading books, but I'm doing a lot of, let's say, watching on Netflix. And
Uh,
there you find a lot of documentaries. You do have Wirecard story. You do have that. I think one of the founders from the coin industry, the exchange that's there. Then Madoff is there. So all
hmm,
these things are around corporate governance to some
hmm,
level.
hmm. Hmm. नहीं नहीं यार, ये तो thanks a lot for this. We'll probably go through that as well. And there are a lot of interesting. So you only get to know about the machinery. So it's again this is one of those stories where you don't know whether it is working or not till the time you figure out that it's broken. You know. So until and unless there is something which you catch somebody doing, and then you know, कि अच्छा, this was a loophole,
Right.
right?
That's true. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. All the big Wall Street movies are usually made on these kind of stories, no? The interesting stories,
Right.
right? Thanks a lot, Saurabh, for your inputs here for this. Okay, moving on. The next news is around Zomato. I think people who are a part of the ecosystem already know this, but Alipay has exited Zomato, and they basically sold their 3.44% stake to Morgan Stanley and Birla Mutual Fund. The total value of the 3.4% stake was 3,000 crores. Um, this, I think Alibaba has also exited Paytm fairly recently. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I think it's more of a story of Alibaba and Alipay than a Zomato story. I think this is the India versus China story which is being played the way I look at it. Wherein I think slowly the Indian company, the Chinese companies are are selling out their stakes in the Indian companies. Is this the trend that we are seeing all around? Saurabh, if you don't mind
Yeah.
opining.
So one of the things which is like pretty common is that now many of the because of the government stance, many of the companies what we are seeing they need to switch their investors from Chinese to non-Chinese,
Hmm.
and hence like you would see these high-profile exits anyway happening.
Hmm.
And secondly, what tends to happen is once we look at Alipay or Alibaba being switched on by, let's say, someone like a Morgan Stanley. Now, I would say that Alipay would be seen as more like, again, a ecosystem player from the startup side. But then switching from Ali to probably a Morgan Stanley, that's a positive news for Zomato.
Hmm. Hmm. Makes sense. Makes sense. Cool. Thanks, Saurabh. Again, I think it's great that we have you here. We are getting an investor's perspective on this. Um, moving on. Moving on to the next story. This is also a fairly interesting one. This is not the not this is not the controversial ones. This is a very interesting one. LIC is reportedly planning to launch its fintech unit. So they basically have rolled out something known as DIVE, the DIVE project, which is digital innovation and value enhancement. And they're basically putting out tenders and getting a consultant to lead the initiative. But intent is they also are getting into fintech from their side. This, I think, all the people, including Akash, I think you are the best guy to give us your inputs on this bit. What's your take on the fintech ecosystem and now LIC getting into fintech?
Yeah, to be honest, yeah, don't know much about. Can you explain me what exactly like they are doing in fintech? What part of fintech they are entering
ये
into?
तो हाँ, so they are basically just getting into it. Wait, let me just open the website as well. But in general, अभी fintech में what is it? What's the kind of trend that you're looking at right now?
Yeah, see, fintech, what I'm seeing is that this, like, first of all, BNPL, right? This is actually still like standing strong. And secondly, this 0% like loan, right? At 0% interest for like 3 months, 6 months, but for like 12 months, 18 months, the loans with interest, right? On
Yeah.
everything what you buy, right? Like TV, fridge, whatever. So these consumer loans are increasing like anything. The loan book what I'm seeing of banks, right, how they are growing is just crazy. The growth is extremely fast.
So
for
lending is
these loans.
working. You're saying lending.
Yeah, so lending on the consumer on the consumer goods. So lending on the consumer goods is growing very fast. The second thing what I'm saying is that this like micro lending, right? Especially tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, right? You might have heard of like micro loans or
Yeah, yeah,
group
yeah.
micro loans. Like yeah, so these loans and the consumer goods loan, these two loans are the basically fastest growing loans right now
Hmm.
in the lending space.
Flipkart also started something known as Super Money very recently.
Yeah. So actually, Flipkart Pay Later is our customer at
Ah.
joining. So we know their loan book. Yeah, it's quite good. Yeah, it's quite decent loan book. Yeah.
Hmm. So basically, I just pulled up something. So what they're
Hmm.
saying is LIC has initiated a total digital transformation project called Dive. Uh, right. So the objective is to get best-in-class digital initiatives for all stakeholders. In the first phase, customer acquisition part is going to be transformed. Currently the customer acquisition is being done through three modes: agent, bank assurance, and direct sale. Now LIC gets most of its
Mm-hmm.
customers through its agents. Right, so subsequently, other
Correct. hundred
areas,
percent.
pardon me, yeah, subsequently, other areas would see transformation. Services like claim settlement, loans, other services, all of these they are trying to make as one click. So currently,
Hmm.
the biggest problem of LIC is the process. The service is not bad, it's the process through the which the people are going through. They are overhauling the UX now.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, yeah. Source uh, yeah. Since you are basically talking about this, right? So my father actually used to work in LIC. So he
Correct.
retired this year only. So yeah, I know it very well, the process and all. Yeah, they really need it actually.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is interesting. Mazedar. Everything is going digital, bro.
Yeah,
Chal.
digital is the next oil.
Next, yes, sir. We are in digital. If you don't know,
Yeah.
matlab, I'm telling you, we have. I mean, i- it's very difficult to imagine yourself away from a phone now. It's as simple as that, right? There
Hmm.
is not a single
Rightly said.
moment
Yeah.
in your day now, irrespective whether matlab, you might, if somebody asks you, you will say कि हाँ यार वो probably 12 hours a day. No, if you actually track yourself, 24 hours you have a phone with you. ठीक है, even in the toilet. But that's a topic for another day. And probably we'll get some tech experts as well to come and talk about the future tech which is being built. But moving on to the next one, this is Elon Musk trying to enter India. So Elon Musk basically is looking to make a $2 billion investment in India for setting up the local factories, right? But he's put in a clause saying that I will only come only if the government approves a concessional duty of 15% on the imported vehicles. Otherwise, it'll be too expensive and nobody is going to buy it. तो ये तो खैर अब जो है सो है. But this is something which is happening in the EV space. The next news, and this is something which I'm sure a lot of people would want to, I would want to get inputs from the other people as well, is Paytm. So Paytm has deployed more than 10,000 sound boxes, QR codes, and card machines at the Gram Panchayat level across the country. So Paytm is saying that Bharat ke liye everybody is building. We want to have the first mover advantage. और जितना ज़्यादा टायर 3 टायर 4 में आप पुश कर सकते हो उतना ज़्यादा पुश करते हैं. They are trying to basically go deeper into the Indian market in the rural areas. Again, 10,000 payment. I don't know how many districts they have done, and let me see if I can pull up some data around this. But what's your take on this? Akash, ये तो मतलब होना ही था. The way I look at it, I think Paytm has been leading the way all through, right from the QR
Yeah.
scanner points to making it. यार मतलब जो बोलो तुम विजय शेखर शर्मा को, the guy has the vision, and now
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
got
He's
the
very extremely smart guy. extremely smart guy. And if you see, right, I mean, a lot of things, right, what Paytm do is his basically brainchild, be it Soundbox, be it
Yeah, yeah,
different
yeah.
things. That is his like brainchild. I think like one more basically interesting thing what I've seen, like I didn't know that, but yeah, the number of merchants which is there on Paytm, like they have the highest market share. So I mean, in that way, right, they are making a lot and lot of money through the merchants, and on basically soundbox as well. So they are, I mean, if you see, right, they have that data, and they have the reach where they can reach to tier 3, tier 4, and then actually link the link the guys from there, because they actually have the merchants in tier 3, tier 4, which is what is basically, I'm sure, would help them grow this.
Mm. So basically, the news reports that 7,000 gram panchayats
Hmm.
In Andhra Pradesh, in collaboration with major banks such as HDFC, SBI, IDFC, and various regional banks. Similar direct mandates have been received from state departments of Uttar Pradesh and Goa, and they have been given a mandate. So they're taking mandates from the government now. They have done it in Andhra. Now in Uttar Pradesh and Goa, they'll be doing it. The impact of the initiative is already evident with 1,200 gram panchayats in Gujarat, Andaman, Nicobar, Maharashtra, and Assam already digitized through Paytm's QR code and sound systems. Acha, so Gujarat, Andaman, Nicobar, Maharashtra, Assam is already done. Now they are doing Andhra, and Uttar Pradesh and Goa is already there. Hmm.
Yes, damn man,
Interesting.
nice. Quite nice.
Interesting stuff.
It's much required, man. If you go to any government place, right, especially tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, to do any small thing also, right, it's very difficult. Having a QR is very good. You pay the money right there and get the things done, man.
Yeah,
Why
yeah,
to run
yeah.
unnecessarily for money?
Yeah, yeah.
And they can't ask them to pay basically cash, right? Because the problem with cash, right, in India, you can't give cash.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now, though, I think point is anywhere you go in the rural areas now, if they don't have QR, you don't know how to pay. Half the time, you don't have the cash. Nobody keeps cash anymore. Everything is QR now. I nowadays I think it's plastic money and phone. And I think yeah, we are now. I think in the next 1 or 2 years, once we go to the ekdam rural tier 4, maybe आप जाओगे. I think the QR codes have kind of democratized the whole finance ecosystem, right?
Right, right. So there
Anywhere
is
you
also a
go.
reason behind it. See, the problem with basically cash is that one person will actually get the cash. Then they have to transfer the cash to the central team. Then it needs to be basically get to the bank, right? Because most of the state governments will have like bank accounts in like big banks,
Hmm.
which might not be there in tier 4. So there is a lot of basically cost which is linked to the cash. But if you see for QR, the cost is almost zero. So that is also one of the reason.
Yeah, 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 absolutely, absolutely. Okay, that brings me to the last news of the day. Um, this is basically Baiju's problem not getting over. BCCI has now sued Baiju's over the jersey sponsorship dispute. So basically, what has happened is last year, BCCI basically has given a so Byju's basically tried to terminate their agreement for the T20 World Cup, and BCCI is basically saying that you have to continue it, right? So that is where the issue is, and BCCI is now suing Byju's for breach of contract. Also, last week only ED had issued show cause notice to Byju's parent, Think and Learn, and Baiju Ravindran himself for a FEMA issue of 9,000 crores. This is a very, very bad mess. This is a very bad mess. Okay, and I don't understand how this kind of mess has happened, because nobody knows why this thing is happening. But theek hai. I think this is something which everybody else is also keeping an eye on, and we'll also keep our eye on. Anybody wants to take a dig on this one? I'm happy to hear. Yeah, 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 yeah. Saurabh sir, please come up. यहाँ पे तो आप अपनी एक्सपर्ट टिप्पणी in case you want to.
No, nothing on Byju's.
इसको तो वो कहते हैं ना, you don't touch this even with a stick, right?
No, it's actually what happens is people talk about a lot of large startups. Our thing is the guys have built something which is humongous already, right?
Yeah,
So we are not in a position, at least personally, I don't feel I'm in a position to comment on this.
yeah. No, yeah, I think it's again the way it's being looked at is they were so aggressive that they probably neglected all of these things. जल्दी जल्दी में इतना सब कुछ जल्दी जल्दी में किया इन लोगों ने, they have built an empire for sure. And
Hmm.
वही है, मतलब you try to run fast, you fall. यहाँ पे गिरे हैं, but these are costly mistakes. That's all. मतलब ठीक है,
Yeah.
mistakes nonetheless, but yeah, costly ones. ये तो it'll cost him the company, very frankly. But ठीक है यार, I think let's see how Mr. Byju's deals with it. With that, I think we have, in case anybody of you has any news that you want to discuss today, which I think I have missed or the team has missed, please, any news which you think which that we should have discussed here, happy to give that in here. Any one of you? Yeah, इतना काफी है आज के लिए. I think this was the end of the news section. Now we have the giveaway. And I think we are right on time, Akash. See, 9:30. We wanted to finish at 9:30. We are finishing at 9:30. For all of you guys who are listening in, we are giving away 2 copies of Traction, the book of the week. All you need to do is one, of course, give us feedback, and you write about your experience of today's session on either Twitter or LinkedIn. Tag the Builders Club and me. And in case you have any feedback or you think that there are any other sections that we can add to this show, happy to give it a year. I think this helps the community at large. This helps promote the initiative. And I'm sure that this kind of a show is something in which you get to know the other people as well and also discuss all the different news and be informed of the ecosystem is also something which is useful. Yeah, Piyush.
Yeah, I wanted to ask that जो hiring board that you had shared previously, is it
Yes.
updated?
Yes. वो एक बार चेक
Okay,
करना
cool.
पड़ेगा, बेसिकली उसमें ना सॉर्टिंग का इशू है, बट आप एक बार
अच्छा,
चेक कर लो. फ्रॉम व्हाट आई रिमेम्बर इट्स डन. ठीक है, 25 या 24 तक का हमारा किया हुआ है. प्लीज गो थ्रू दैट. सो
sure, sure, sure.
yeah, for all of the guys who have not been updated about what we have been, so we fairly recently launched the phase 3 of the club and made nas.io as our kind of a consolidated landing page of all our initiatives which are happening. So apart from the fundraising and launchpad track, we also have a hiring notice board, which is we compile all the messages from the communities, and anybody who's looking to hire or anybody who's looking to get hired, both the sheets are there. So in case you are looking for a job, you should go to the hiring notice board. In case you're looking to hire, you should go to the hiring notice board. Thanks a lot, Piyush, for pointing that out. Yes, it's updated. And again, I'll ask my team to also. So this was supposed to happen weekly. It's our fault. The person who was in charge has been traveling for the last 2 weeks. But technically, every week, once the updation is done, there is a message which will go out both in the community and on social media that these notice boards are updated. You people can go out and check. Right? तो ये हमारी तरफ से गलती है. Thanks a lot, Piyush, for pointing it out. We'll make sure that we'll do that. With that, again, yes, I'll just repeat this. There are 2 CTAs here. One, in case you're not a part of the Builders Club, please nas.io/TBC. Please go to nas.io/TBC. That is where you find all the notice boards, all the initiatives, everything. Second is the tbc.blinkstore.in, where you get our merch. And third is the giveaway. We are giving out 2 copies of Traction. All you need to do is make a LinkedIn post or a Twitter post talking about your experience about the about this event, and tag us, the Builders Club, and me. With that, I think we can draw this